What to do when you don't want to train. So there's multiple things that could be making you not want to train, right? I'm gonna write some of these down while I'm talking to you at the same time. You could not want to train because you are tired. But there's multiple ways of tired. The first one is you can't be asked. That's one form of you being tired, which is I just can't be asked. I want to go do something else. I want to go to this party with my friends. I can't be asked to train. That's number one. Then when it comes to tired, number two, it could be fatigue, like you're generally chronically fatigued. I'm gonna come back to this later. When it comes to tired, if it's you can't be asked and you just don't want to, that can go into being unmotivated. That's gonna be like the majority of the stuff where it's just like you don't actually want to go to the gym. There's also being depressed, but that can kind of go into the can't be asked. Either way, it's kind of split into the mental aspects and the physical aspects. When you can't be asked, that's a mental aspect. You're not tired because you've broken down the muscle and all that type of stuff. You're tired because you're not motivated, because you don't want to do it. You're mentally tired. Now, there is mental fatigue, of course, but it's probably not that, if we're going to be 100% real. What would you do? What would I tell you guys to do when you're unmotivated and you can't be asked and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do it? You do it anyway. If it's like, oh, like I went to school today and like I'm tired and I'm coming back from school and I can't be asked, I just went anyway. That was my thing. I trained, when I first started gym, I was training like 6 to 7 times a week. I did that for like 8-9 months with no rest. Is that great for muscle growth? Did it teach me a little bit of discipline? Would I have made more gains if I didn't do that? In the short term, yeah. But the whole thing is like, you should have a schedule where you can recover anyway. But if it starts to get into the point where it's like you're going to gym like once a week or 2 times a week, or you're just skipping stuff because you just can't be asked to skip to do it, that's not bueno. If you're fatigued, that's something else, right? So if it's like your muscle is still sore and you're supposed to go train it, don't train it. Go home, rest. If it's like, oh, you're supposed to go train triceps and you do your first tricep exercise and you feel your elbows pop and like your elbows in pain, don't exercise. If you're like so fatigued, it's like you really do feel like you're actually about to pass out. Like you feel horrendous. It's like it's like hard to walk, like you've got a crazy headache like I do right now, then yeah, take some rest. Sometimes fatigue can make you feel unmotivated. That's the thing you need to like look at. You need to be like, okay, well, is it because I'm actually physically fatigued? Like I'm tired. Have I been progressing for ages and like all of a sudden now I'm kind of hitting a plateau because like the fatigue's caught up to me and that's why I'm feeling unmotivated? If so, take a little deload. Take 3 or 4 days off of the gym and just chill. Recover, see what happens. If you take 3 or 4 days off and you go back to the gym and boom, everything's going great off again, like you feel motivated, then you're probably fatigued. But when it comes to like you completely breaking your schedule and doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, let's say you don't train for 2-3 weeks, you stop doing your homework. I know I'm bringing school back, but whatever. You stop doing your homework. Let's say you work and you're just like kind of messing up at work and stuff. You're going out and drinking more often than you usually would. That's you kind of spiraling out of your schedule, which could mean that the schedule was too strict to begin with. It's the same way as if someone goes on a diet and they go on a crazy deficit and then they just binge because they couldn't handle it. You need to find out and make a schedule on something that's sustainable long term, because there's no point in you doing whatever you're doing for 2 months if then you go and fuck up 4 months. You kind of get what I'm trying to say. In general, what to do when you're tired, try hit a session, see if you can match the weights you've been matching, or see if you can get a PR, like a personal record. See if you can beat any of your like prior best lifts, whatever. If you can, you're okay. If it's like it's been 2 or 3 sessions in a row and you're just missing everything, like I'm talking like you're actually just not progressing on any lift, you feel horrendous, like mentally you feel horrendous, you're getting like migraines and stuff, take time off. And there's a lot of people, there's two different types of people. There's people that will underdo stuff and there's people that overdo stuff. The people that overdo stuff are the most stubborn, that's the word, are the most stubborn people, because they don't listen. If you're like it's not working, like you're getting injured all the time and you're really tired and it's kind of like you're like, no, I can just train more. I have to train. If I don't train, I'm gonna feel really bad. Just take the time off. Just look at it like I've trained so hard, I've earned to have some time off. Now, if you're not doing enough, you don't understand the fact that you're your own problem. You're complaining about things that you want to be doing. You want something, but you're just not doing what you need to do to get to it. Why? Why do you feel the need to stand in your way? Because it's easier. If that's how you want to live, like your life, that's the type of person you want to be, where you could be progressing and becoming a better person. And there's just little things that you could be doing. You just train a little bit harder. You just train a little bit more often. You like look at your diet a little bit better. You can improve your life so much more and become better as a person. You don't have to become better for anyone. You can just be better for you. Like it can be selfish. No one's going to be upset if someone's like, why did you want to lose a bunch of weight? And you go, because I wanted to feel better. But instead of taking those steps, you'd rather be a lazy fuck. If you're okay with being mediocre, I can't help you. And this is also coming from like me being a coach and me trying to coach a lot of people. Another thing is, if you are feeling unmotivated because you're like, I can't do it, you haven't tried, you get the gist? You're saying you can't do something, but you haven't tried. That's like me saying I can't do a marathon and I've never tried. Yes, okay, maybe it would suck, but maybe you could. What if you could? What I'm trying to say is, if you're not training because you're lazy, that's on you. And if you want to stay in the same position the rest of your life, enjoy that. If you're like wanting to make a change and and you're overdoing it, you're on the right track, you're doing well, but just slow down. You can't make everything happen straight away. Stuff takes time, right? You need to be able to recover. You need to be patient with the development. I've had a couple clients, I've had a lot of people that like, they have some type of health thing. Let's say someone's like, oh, I can't count my calories because like I get problems with it and then like I'm bad with my food. Fair, right? I'm not saying anything against that. That's fair. But are you taking steps to try solve that issue? In the sense of like, you're like, oh, I can't diet because every single time I diet, I look at the weight and it really upsets me, and then I can't diet, and then I can't eat the food because I don't like the texture of this food. And I haven't tried to do any other type of foods. I haven't gone to a therapist, and I don't want to go to a therapist, and I haven't tried to work through my issues, and I don't want to try. But I know I could, but like, you know, the option's there for me to try work through stuff and like, you know, sort this problem out so that I could do stuff. But I just don't really want to because it's going to be difficult, and I'd rather just hold myself back. That's where I'm kind of like, if you have an issue, I'm not going to be, obviously, I don't have the issue. I don't know what it's like. But if there's a way for you to sort out the issue, and the only reason you're not is because you don't want to, at the end of the day, it's your life. But don't get me wrong, I've still helped people to diet without counting calories, and I still help people have the right diet by changing the foods and all that type of stuff. But I think a lot of people give too much power to certain diagnoses or whatever, that then they aren't able to take control of their own lives. And I'm not saying this in a hurtful way. I'm saying this more in the way that it sucks. Like, so I know a lot of people that have stuff, a lot of my friends have stuff, and it's like, okay, I get it. You're dealt the cards. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, if you can find a way around it, or at least try, then why not? It's difficult, but if you can just push through and see if you can find something and still get the positives, why not? Stop giving that thing power over your life. If you can find a way to sort through it, try. But of course, I'm like, there's a lot of caveats here because there's different things, different conditions. And there's some things that's just like, it is what it is. If someone's like, oh yeah, I just can't count calories, I'm not gonna then force them to start counting calories. What I'm gonna say is, that's fair, and then I'll just find a solution. So one of my clients, right, they were like, I can't count calories, whatever. I was like, have you tried whatever? They're like, yeah, like I tried, like I went to a therapist, I did this, I did that, and I just can't count calories. I was like, okay, cool. So what did we do? We just lowered meal sizes a little bit. So it'd be like they'd eat 3 meals a day, and at the start would have like 2 handfuls of potato and like a handful of chicken. As we needed to lower the calories, I'd be like, do a handful and a half worth of potato, half a handful worth of chicken. There's still ways around it. I'm not gonna like be like, no, I'm not willing to accommodate for your need. The whole point of being a personal coach, I change the whole plan and everything and what you eat to your needs. So I'm willing to adapt to what you need. I also want you to be able to push back against negative stuff in your life and see if you can make it better. So understand it's coming from a place of love, okay? I'm not doing this to be horrible. I just want to help.